Good Friday morning, Flames Nation. I hope you all had a very Merry Christmas. Welcome back to The Furnace with your host, Noah Lance. This is going to be kind of a special episode in a way. We are going to go over what I think are the top options for us in the transfer portal based off of what we need immediately. As soon as this window opens January 2nd, I believe it is. These are the top 10 guys that I think we need to gun for in terms of replacing what we've lost, because we've had a unfortunate exodus, if you will, of like all of the guys that were going to be key players on our offense and a few on our defense for this upcoming season. So we'll just jump right into it. Like I said, I hope you guys had an awesome holiday. Very Merry Christmas. I hope you got to spend lots of time with your family, had lots of good food, good treats, and good quality love and community built with your families. But we'll start off with the number one thing. It's going to be quarterbacks, and this is kind of like a bonus add-on because I do think that we are going to try and keep Vasco, although he's going to be out for 5 to 6 months after his shoulder surgery. But I personally would like to see the guy return. I think he fits into our program perfectly. I think that this past season, if he was not dealing with injury the entire year, that the Flames season would have gone completely different than it did. But that's neither here nor there. So we'll just jump straight into, if Vasco does not come back, who I think that we should go after. So that number one target is going to be Caden Hauser from Eastern Carolina. He's got 1 year of eligibility left. This guy's got a lot of experience. Last year he threw for 3,300 yards, had a 19 touchdown to 6 interception ratio, and had 193 yards on the ground with an additional 9 rushing touchdowns. Like I said, this is a guy with a good bit of experience. He can get it with his legs. He's obviously got it with his arm, and he's a big kid, man. He knows the game, and he can feel the field extremely well. Moving on from Hauser, we've got Amari Odom, trying to think, kind of the bane of our existence this year, right? But no, Amari Odom, quarterback from Kennesaw State. He's got 2 years of eligibility left. Last year he threw for just short of 2,600 yards with 19 touchdowns, 8 picks, added 347 yards on the ground with 7 rushing touchdowns. He's a big kid. It's like 6'4", 210 or something like that. Him and Hauser bring a lot of the same qualities to the game and kind of the same body types as well. But yeah, I think, in terms of where Vasco's at, where our quarterback room is right now with Houck and goodness gracious, I don't even know who our third string is right now because everybody's literally leaving. But I think right now we're just down to Vasco and Houck. I could be wrong. But, yeah, man, it's obvious that we've got to pursue somebody this year regardless, because we can't, as much as I would love Vasco to come back fully healthy and in full form like he was, 2 seasons ago, it's a lot to ask a guy with 1 year of eligibility left to come back after, a 6-month layoff and just jump right back into some magic boots and start making plays happen out there. So I think we need to aggressively pursue a quarterback and kind of put them and Vasco against each other, and let's see what we can do. Moving on from the quarterback position, we have receivers. We're going to start off with Kenny Odom out of UTEP. He's got 1 year of eligibility left. Over the last 2 seasons, he's had 1,323 receiving yards and 14 touchdowns. Not necessarily like a big body type guy, but he's shifty, runs great routes, and he's looking for a new home. And I think personally that, it's not wise of us to go out and try to seek out all of these transfers that are coming from P4 schools. I would rather us look within our own conference and maybe some FCS level schools, some of those more experienced guys that are looking for, a home in a familiar place, and realistically people that are not going to break the bank for the university itself. So yeah, Kenny Odom would probably be my number one receiving prospect for the transfer portal this year. Another receiver, we've got Nazay Cox from MTSU. He's got 1 year of eligibility left. He had 473 receiving yards last year, 5 touchdowns. Great athlete. He's got a good amount of experience, and I think based off of looking at his stats, he may be one of the guys that can appeal for extra years of eligibility. Don't hold me to that though. Moving on from the receivers, or I guess we could throw this guy in here as well because we need another tight end. Lost some guys to seniority as well as the transfer portal, but Hunter Tipton, tight end out of Middle Tennessee State. He's got 1 year left. Last year he had 411 receiving yards, only 2 touchdowns. Obviously their offense did not prioritize the tight end in the red zone, but this guy had as many yards as the second best receiver on our team this year, I believe. So if you can bring in a tight end that can catch 400 plus yards on the year, then I think that would be a great addition to the team. Big kid, think he blocks well. I haven't watched much film on him, but I mean, anything other than having nobody is going to be better, right? So that's Hunter Tipton, tight end out of Middle Tennessee. And moving on from the receivers, we'll go into the running back because we need to replace Dickens, who was literally our entire offense this year. And kudos to the kid. I completely understand why he's moving on with his life. You know, it wasn't the desired outcome that the Flames wanted this year, but for Evan Dickens, I guess it was. So hopefully, you know, he moves on and has a great opportunity. But for us, as Flames Nation, I think that we should aggressively pursue Ashton Emery, who is a running back out of UTEP. 3 years of eligibility left, 672 all-purpose yards last year, 6 touchdowns. Good body, strong body, cuts well, can pretty much do everything, run up the middle, run to the outside. He can obviously catch passes. I think that is something that we are looking for and could dramatically benefit from a guy like Ashton Emery. So we'll move on to what's arguably the biggest thing that we need to replace outside of the quarterback room this year, and that's going to be safeties. We lost a lot of guys to seniority, and then Bodner, who was going to be our best returning defensive back as a whole, entered the transfer portal like the day that it opened. So I've got a few options here. And most of these guys are going to be out of either FCS schools or other G5 schools. Like I said, I think this is what we should pursue as an organization, trying to save money, but also bring in quality players who want a bigger and better opportunity. So we'll start with Carmelo O'Neal, safety out of Mercer. He's got 2 years left. 38 total tackles this past year, 30 solo, 9 pass deflections, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 0 picks, but this kid is a hoss, dude. 6'4", 200 pounds. I would throw him back in that secondary any day of the week, man, especially with the 3 years of eligibility left, or 2 years of eligibility left, my bad. He's got a lot of room to grow, man. Moving on from O'Neal, we've got Matt Irwin, a safety out of Idaho. He also has 2 years of eligibility left. Last year, he had 45 total tackles, 29 solo tackles, 2 pass deflections, 0 sacks, 0 forced fumbles, and 0 picks. 5'11", 180. This guy kind of sounds like maybe he could play some nickel packages. I would not necessarily put him at the free safety position. He's a great open field tackler, but for my taste, personally, I like a little bit longer of a free safety, and I think that O'Neal could fill that spot a little bit better. But regardless, we would love to have Irwin in our secondary. He's obviously a hitter. He loves making contact. He loves getting down and dirty, and we will take that any day of the week. So that's pretty exciting. 5'11", 180. Moving on from Irwin, we've got Wesley Miller, a safety out of South Alabama. 1 year of eligibility left. Over the last 3 years, my apologies, over the last 3 seasons, 128 total tackles, 77 solo tackles, 5 pass deflections, 0 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 5 picks. 5'11", 193. Now we're talking about another guy that we may want to put at that free safety position here. You know, he's a ball hawk. He moves around the field well, great open field tackler. In my opinion, he's the total package in what you're looking for as the general of your secondary. That's Wesley Miller, safety out of South Alabama. And last on the list here, we have Anthony Busa, who is a safety out of Stonehill. He's got 2 years of eligibility left. Last year, 71 total tackles, 37 solo, 8 pass deflections, 2 interceptions, 6'3", 200 pounds. Now, those stats are amazing. Of course, he was playing at a lower level, but I think that translates whenever you're 6'3", 200 pounds and you have that experience and confidence in yourself. I think this guy is a no-brainer. He's an immediate plug-and-play for me. And if we just pursued 2 of the 4 safety options that I have on here, I think that our defensive backfield would be in great hands. But yeah, that's the top 10 targets that I have for Flames Nation right now to pursue in the transfer portal opening in this January, a couple of weeks away from now. Obviously, we'll expand on this eventually, but for the most part, as of now, we have a decent amount of guys returning. We need to fill some spots on our defensive and offensive line, but I don't mean this in a bad way, but there's a lot of linemen out there, and it's kind of one of those positions where you don't really know what you're getting until you've seen them take a lot of snaps. So we're just going to have to rotate some guys in that we've had previously on the team, underclassmen, or go out and try to wrangle up a few that look rough and tough, have got a lot of snaps in at other programs, and that could be immediate plug and play guys. So yeah, that's all I have for today's episode. If you guys have any suggestions, opinions, or any other players that you've had your eyes on as a fan of the Flames, let me know. Throw it down in the comments, and hopefully this can help somebody out. I'm sure that every single one of these guys have already been on our recruiting radars, but it never hurts to throw suggestions out there. So, once again, guys, I hope you had a great holiday season. Moving into the new year, I'm excited to see where ball takes its next steps. Going into spring practice, I think there's a lot of room for growth this next year. Kind of expectations a little bit lowered, and that feels good at the same time. Of course we want to win, but I understand the pressure that we've had on us the last 3 seasons to perform, excel in our performance, and it's nice to have an off season where you really just don't know what's going to happen, and hopefully if we can string together the resources, we can put together a pretty scrappy team, man. But yeah, I hope you guys have a great weekend, and this is Noah with The Furnace.